Hello, and welcome to this video. So yes, thank you. First of all, thank you for taking your time out to come and sit with me through the next 30 or 40 minutes from this moment. And then I would like to acknowledge you for taking this commitment to sit with me through this session. And then the second thing is, yes, how many of you are uh, like breaking your head, wondering which way you got to support in your siblings and your children fighting? When there is a fight happening between siblings, are you kind of wondering, who do I support? Who do I say what? What should I be telling to each of them? Then you are at the right place. If you are interested to know more, just type out more in the chat box. Yes, thank you very much for that. Yes, thank you very much for that. And let me just share my screen here at this point of time. Yeah, I hope you're able to see my screen. Yes, so siblings and rivalry. I'll just keep going on taking you over through some points. And seems like the system is stuck. Just a second. Okay, so what is one word that is coming to your mind right now at this moment? Maybe my elder one is always hitting, or maybe my younger one, it's always my younger one who's always hitting, or maybe there's always one who's stronger and there is one who's timid, right? What is that one thought that is running in your mind right now? Type it out in the chat box below or in the comment section. And if you're watching it over on YouTube or if you're watching over Facebook, just make sure you show some love, hit those like buttons, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned to my channel. I will definitely be doing my best to add value in your parenting journey as well as in your life. Yes, and once again, thank you very much for being with me until now. Yes, so first of all, let's go through some basic pointers, okay? Very basic pointers. So the first thing that comes to us is every child is unique, right? So even if you have twins, even if the children belong to the same family, every child is unique. So what do I mean by every child is unique? Just like how we have the fingerprint is unique, right? The fingerprint is unique. The same way, thoughts are unique, feelings are unique, the emotions are unique. At any instance of time, how this sibling feels is very much different from how the other sibling feels. Though the situation is the same, though the scenario is the same, still how each child feels at that instance of time is unique and is different. So even before you just attempt to go and talk to your child, you should be aware of this fact that yes, every child is unique, as well as this child's perspective could have been different from the other child's perspective, as well as is definitely different from what you are seeing, from how you are feeling, from your perspective. And yes, everything is valid, right? Everything is valid. Every feeling is valid, and every human or every being is valid. So yes, let's get this straight. Some basic points that every child is unique. And then the second thing is there is always a nature versus nurture that is happening for a young being. So we sometimes use these words like always. She's always this. So by nature, yes, we do have a set of genes, and yes, we do have certain definitions or certain personality traits, but it is by nurture that these traits are either enhanced, right? Are either enhanced or are pulled down, right? It could be a good rate, it could be a bad rate. Not just don't go by these words of good and bad. It could be a beneficial rate, it could be a not so beneficial rate. Or ultimately, again, see, every trait is beneficial at a certain point of time, may not be beneficial at another point of time. So there is nothing called good or bad. It's like universally good or bad, but there is something called what is the right thing to do at this moment. What is the best thing? Yes, not even the right thing. What is the best thing that I can do at this moment, right? So that way, yes, by nature, there are some traits. Each of us, again, unique genes and everything is unique, right? So yes, there is a set of traits, but it is by nurture, these traits are either nurtured to be that unique, and they're actually being enhanced, or they are pushed down, right? They are either pushed down. So again, I'll be going into labelings and what kind of words we use and how it impacts the child's being a little further. But for now, until now, just focus on this, that there is always there is a combination of nature and nurture within a child who is growing up, right? And then the third pointer is, um, yes, how you are treating each of your children actually stems from the way you have been treated in your childhood, right? So the way you were treated, I just noted down as childhood treatment. Okay, hope you get the context right. So the way you were treated in your childhood largely decides the way you are treating each of these siblings, right? So maybe you could have been the elder sibling, or you could have been younger sibling, or maybe you were the sibling who was not given a chance many a times. Maybe the other sibling was given chances for proving his skill or proving his ability or something like that. So maybe you've always been feeling that, oh, nobody asks me, or nobody asked me anything, right? You were feeling that nobody's approaching you. So this definitely plays a role in how you are parenting your children and how you are treating each of the siblings. I'll tell you, it could either there could either be a gender bias, like if you are the male parent, or if you are the female parent, you could be either this extreme or that extreme. That also can happen. You would either be biased to the male child or female child if you have a boy girl combination in your children, or it could also be you could be biased to either the elder child or the younger child, because that's just the way you were treated. Again, nothing wrong about it. Please get this clear in your mind, right? We're not blaming anybody out there, even your parents. All respects to every parent out there, all the elders out there. Each one has done the best that they could do at every moment in their life. So when I'm sharing with you something, it is not that you got to blame somebody, but it is only about coming into an awareness of what has happened within you, what is still present within you, and how is it showing in the way you are treating each of your children, right? Your younger child or younger child, elder child, or the girl child or the boy child, and all of that thing, right? Yes, so if you've got this point, please note down. Please type it out in the comment section. GI is for got it. Yes, type it out in the comment section. GI. Type out GI in the comment section. Yes, thank you very much. Now, let's move on to the fourth point, that is perspectives. Very, very important, and they play a major role in, again, conflicts. So let's talk of any conflict that has happened between your children, between siblings. Okay, so when siblings are in a conflict, the meaning of a conflict itself is that this child has a certain perspective, which is not just going through this child, and this child has a different perspective, which is not going through this child, right? It is about having different perspectives, right? Now, when you as an adult are like, you are like acting as a judge or as a referee, saying, okay, who's hitting first? Okay, who's yelling first? Okay, who's doing what first? And then you will be the judge, and then the children will come to you and say, no, mama, I did this. I was being nice and he still hit me. No, she hit me first. No, he hit me first. No, she hit me first. No, she hit me first. Yes, and now you are in that pressure to take a decision on who should I support here. Okay, who did I support the last time? Okay, so to be a fair judge, let me just support the other person this time. And the next time you'll be taking roles, or you'll be taking turns to support the other sibling and the other child, and then the other child and the other child, right? But does it work? Do your children, do they need your presence as a judge, right? Do they need your presence as a judge? Now, what happens is this. Already there has been a difference in perspectives between both of your children, right? And that is the reason for them fighting. Maybe she's not understanding what she's saying and she's not understanding what she's saying. So they actually, in that moment, they need a person who understands their perspective, who accepts their perspective. You are coming in from another totally different perspective. You are neither standing in child A's perspective nor standing in the child B's perspective, right? Now you are coming in from another perspective because you are also unique, right? You have your own mindset. You are coming in from some other kind of zone, maybe tired, uh, yes, overloaded, overburdened. Yes, you have your own perspective. So how can you bridge in this gap of accepting perspectives? Yes. So at that point of time, what they need is not a judge to say you are right and you are wrong this time, and then next time you are right and then you are wrong. They need a person who can understand their perspective. Now, yes, all valid. Everything is agreed that you are coming in from another kind of mindset, and how can you understand their perspective suddenly? So, how can you respond at that point of time? Suddenly, right? So, point is this: even though you do not understand completely what is happening inside your child's mind at that point of time, again, both of your children mind at that point of time, at least can you accept? Yes, you've done something. Let me at least just accept whatever has happened. Yes, you've tried to hit. Yes, you've tried to push. Yes, you've tried to bang. Yes, you've tried to kick. Let me first accept it. Because only when you accept your child with whatever your child has done, your child will feel accepted by you. Your child will feel trusted by you. Your child will come to you and openly share with you what has happened, the entire sequence of events that has led him to take that decision to hit the sibling. Again, it's not something that's right or wrong here. You're not someone who wants to become a judge. Keep that in your mind. We are not someone who wants to be the judge to that child. If your child is given that trust, right? If your child is shown that trust that yes, he is accepted, whatever he's done, he is accepted, then let me share you this. Even though the child has hit the sibling, the child will walk to you straight and tell you all the sequence of events that has happened, and the sequence of thoughts that are running in her or his mind, and why the child has taken a decision to hit. Otherwise, if the child is not accepted, the child will not develop trust with the parent. The child will not feel open to walk to the parent and share all these feelings. Then the child will just hit the sibling and run away. They just want to avoid being in that scenario of being judged. Nobody likes being judged. Do you like being judged by your, say, spouse or parents-in-law or any adult out there? Nobody likes being judged, right? So why do we judge the child? Who are we to judge the child when God Himself is like He's so forgiving in nature, right? And the universe itself is so forgiving in nature. Why are we playing a role of a judge in a little child's life? Okay, so yes, not to get deviated, but the point is this: when your children are involved in a fight, all they require is your acceptance and your trust that the child can come to you and share, not a judge, not a referee. Yes. So now going back to the pointers here. So what was it? That was a fourth point. So just keep taking notes of all these points, and just paste whatever notes you've taken, just paste it in the comment section below, so that the other person, whoever has hopped onto this video, will learn something from your comment, right? So even when you are learning something, you got to share it. When you're not sharing your learning, again, it just stays there with you. If you have to make a little change in the world around you, you have to keep implementing what you learn as well as keep sharing what you learn. Yes, coming to the fifth point now. So yes, children here, they do not care if you are giving them equal or not, if you are giving them equal or not. Okay. So many times you wonder that, okay, how do I make this equal for both of my children or for three of my children? Otherwise, they may be fighting again. So if you actually observe, you give your child A this much of, after serving them so much cake piece and so much cake piece, you again say, maybe the child A says, no, that is larger, this is smaller. Then you again give another little bit of cake piece. And then the child B says, no, 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 she got more and I got less. So how much ever you try to make it equal, they always want to grab another next piece, take another next piece. So it is not about giving them equal. And even when you are putting it to them, it is not about, okay, I've put it equally and you're not supposed to fight now or something like that. If the child, you have served a little for the child A and for the child B, right? And now when the child A is asking, you can again come into this awareness mode. Okay, do you think you want to eat a little more? Do you think you can eat a little more? You can serve how much ever that you can eat, that you are able to eat. Or I am ready to serve how much ever that you can eat according to one's ability. It's not, there is nothing, there is no competition for eating, right? Right, there is no competition for eating. So the more and more you drill in this kind of perspective that I am ready to serve how much ever that you can eat, even when you're giving junk or even when you're giving something that is not appropriate at that time. When you accept your child that yes, your child wants to eat some sugary stuff or something spice, or maybe it's not appropriate for you at that point of time, but yes, he wants to eat. But then just keeping it clear that yes, I can do this for you. Do you think you can eat so much? Well, the more and more you are stopping, okay, just one pani puri, don't eat more. Your tummy will become full and you'll get stomach pain. And then she'll ask for more, and then she'll ask for more. If you just leave it there, otherwise the other child is asking, then this child is asking, because the other child is asking. Because somewhere when children were young again, there was this parent's perspective that came in that both of, I'm giving equal to both of you, okay, you shouldn't fight. Maybe the younger sibling wanted to have just two pani puri and the elder sibling wanted to have four pani puri. But just because we drilled in this point that both of you I'm giving equal, you're not supposed to be fighting, the younger sibling thinks that, okay, I also need to ask for four. Or maybe the reverse. Maybe the younger sibling can have four pani puri, and the older sibling is just interested to have two pani puri. Let it be. So again, the younger the sooner you do this, the better. But nevertheless, any time is the best time for you to drill in this point that yes, you can eat, but make sure that you are able to eat. Do you have the capacity to eat? Of course, not capacity, not the words capacity and all, but just the language which your child understands, right? So again, most often what happens is sometimes there is a box of sweet or there is a box of churro. The child feels that if I don't take it, the other person will take it, or this other sibling will take it. And then they try to serve a lot for themselves, but they can't eat. They know it, they can't eat, but they are coming in from that competition angle because that was what was drilled in from the parents' perspective also. Just accept it. Just try to accept it and make peace with it. Do not beat yourself up. Okay, just make peace with it and see what is it that I can do right now. How is it I can talk about it, talk to my child right now. So yes, you can have an extra pani puri, but do you think you can eat it? Are you full? If you are full, you can just walk out. Or if you think you can eat it, maybe you can take more. And then maybe having another half or one pani puri, your child, now your child who is already aware of whether the tummy is full, whether she can eat it or not, whether it is more spicy, will start to say, I think I'm done. I'll just leave it here, right? So that is the kind of empowerment that your child will receive when you step into the zone of non-judging or non-comparing and all of that stuff. And children are actually, they're already self-aware, but what we do again as parents, what we do is pulling them away from their own awareness. So yes, this is about siblings, so specifically about siblings. So let's just get back to the topic. The pointer here is, take note. The pointer here is they just do not care if you are giving them equal or not. If you are coming in from that perspective, they always want a bite more. They always want a serving more. But if you are coming in from the perspective that, okay, so you want to eat, just tell me how much you want to eat. It's not about whether the other person is eating or not. If you think you can eat, I am ready to serve. But okay, there are some rules again that comes in your conversation that you have. The food that you made should be, one should at least suffice the entire, all the family members. Okay, let's just keep a little for the grandmother. Let's keep a little for the grandfather. He likes this item. Yes, all that is human nature to talk about all of that, even to your child, even to children, right? So there shouldn't be the angle shouldn't be coming from greed, and the angle shouldn't be coming from comparing, but it should be coming from awareness, right? The point is, the key point is awareness. And then the next one is defining your children, defining the child. Yes, let me just write it as defining the child. So what usually happens is now, so let me give you some scenarios, right? You're just calling for child A and child B for some help of yours, right? Maybe climb up the chair and pull something out, or maybe just helping you in some kind of task, okay? Now, so child A and child B were already involved in their own tasks. Maybe both of them were keen to come to you when you called out, right? When you've called out, both of them were keen to come to you. But maybe physically, child A was closer to the place where you are. Maybe child A's task was just ending soon, and child A could just walk to you quickly. The child A could help you, and child B, maybe the child B has seen that the child A has already gone to the kitchen or anywhere that you are looking for help, and then the child B is just continuing to do his or her task. And maybe the child B has also walked in a little later. And by that time, you are done with your help, right? Or maybe a week later or 10 days later, again, a similar kind of situation repeats, right? Now, maybe there are some other constraints for, again, child A coming to you. So again, basically, when you look at, say, out of 20 instances when you called for help, maybe 15 instances child A came to you and 5 instances child B came to you. But it was not because child B didn't want to help you, right? Even child B was keen to help you. Even child A was keen to help you. But somehow, sometimes the body speed of child A maybe was a bit faster, or maybe what child B was doing was a little deeper work. So for the child B to realize that somebody's calling for help took time. Right? There are various umpteen number of things that are happening inside a human mind, and specifically a child's mind. So now when the parent is looking from this angle of, okay, whenever I call for help, it's mostly child A who comes to me. And then we kind of create these definitions for children. She is more responsible, maybe for the dog, for the pet, or for the cat that you have at home, or maybe for plants, whatever it is, or maybe just for the help that you are asking for from your children, right? So now, when you're speaking to child A, you will say, oh, you always come to me to come, you always come to my help, you always come to me immediately. And then child B wouldn't understand. It's not that I didn't want to help you, right? When did child B tell you that? When did I tell you that I didn't want to help you? Even I wanted to help you, but there were some circumstances through which, yes, this thing happened. Now, child A is defining his or herself as more responsible. Okay, I'm more responsible than my sibling. I'm more responsible than my sibling. I'm more responsible than my sibling. And child B is defining himself or herself as, I don't do so much as my sibling. I'm not so smart as my sibling. I'm not as fast as my sister. I'm not as sharp as my sister or as my brother. Right? Sometimes if you look at certain patterns, these definitions still stay true even when these children are actually in their adult life, right? When they got to take care of their parents or in their own families, sometimes the child B still lives with this thought that I'm not very smart, I'm not very responsible. And child A sometimes feel overburdened because of this thought that I am responsible. So, I mean, just this thought that I should be responsible, I should be taking care of everything around me will overburden, will stress out that child A who's now an adult, right? Who's now an adult. Sometimes this also brings in these traits such as I shouldn't be asking for help from anybody, because that child since childhood was always being praised for being so and so. But it's not wrong to ask help. It's not wrong to not reach out for stating genuine reasons, or maybe you're actually busy and you cannot go out for it, right? But child A now is like just putting pressure on her or him just because there is this belief underlying that I am always responsible. I should always be responsible for everything that happens around inside my house. But can you be in control of some things that you cannot change? No, right? First of all, you should be having that wisdom to discriminate what are the things that you can change and what are the things that you cannot change. So this is just one definition of responsibility that I've shown to you. But there are various other definitions of smartness. I don't play music as good as my brother. I don't sing as good as my sister. I don't dance as good as my even because again these are the definitions that the parents' perspective unknowingly they're putting in into the child, right? And then let me get back to the pointer. So where are we? Which point are we at? Yes, it's the sixth point. Now, another important point is seventh point, that is acting, right? Um, acting like maybe who you are not, or who the child is not, right? So now, when just imagine you first have a child, okay, and then when the child is 2 year old, you have a second child. Right when at the time when the second child is born, you just expect in your head that my first child will be acting like a grown. It is not possible. Your first child is also just a 2 year old. And the same is true even when if your first child is just an 8 year old or a 10 year old. I mean, maybe some kind of behavior pattern may differ from a 2 year old and from a 10 year old and a 2 year old, but the expectation remains the same. And even for a parent, we cannot just expect that my first child will be completely transformed right at the moment when she sees her sibling, when he sees his sibling. No, it cannot happen. They still crave for the parent. They are still children. They still have their needs. They still crave for the parent to attend to their needs, right? So, whatever age the child is in, whatever age your first child is in, another assumption that we get to make is, can I just expect some amount of maturity from this, from the older child? And again, these are the questions that even you get asked by the society around you, right? Is she behaving like a big sister? Is she behaving like a big brother? Right? Is he behaving like a big brother? So the underlying fact is, whatever age your first child is at, they are still children. They still have their needs. They still crave for their parent to attend to their needs. Right? Did you get this point? Then just note it down in your notepad, wherever you are noting it down. And then another thing is labeling. It comes maybe in the definition itself. Let me make this as a sub point. So labeling the child. So one of my child always seems to be timid. The other child always seems to be strong. And whenever there is a fight, the stronger one wins. Right? So the more and more you are looking at your child as she's always timid, she's always strong. That is what is happening. Your younger child, whoever your child be, is behaving or is defining himself or herself as timid. Your child A is defining himself or herself as strong, or this is arrogant, or this is bullying, or this is submissive, right? Whatever, again, however you are defining your child. There is this famous one learning that I've learned from one of the books out there. You need to talk to your child, not, I actually don't remember the person who quoted this, but let me just put the point forward. You need to talk to your child, not like how your child is behaving right now, but like how you hope for your child to be, right? And if your child is timid right now and you are talking to your child as if he's still timid, you cannot come out of your cocoon. Your child cannot come out of his or her cocoon, right? If you know your child is kind of bullying the other child, maybe you can come in from a perspective from a mode as if you are talking to a child who's a mature child, or maybe who is a little more kinder, a little more loving, right? I'm not saying the child is not kind and not loving. Children just try to experiment and explore things, and in this journey of theirs, they tend to hurt other people and other children, their siblings, and people around them, right? So when you are talking to them, you can just ask questions in your conversation. You can, why are you always stubborn? Why are you always bullying? No, no. When you are saying that, always bullying, always stubborn, always submissive, always timid, your child is defining himself or herself with this label. Oh, I'm always timid. Let me remain so. Yes. So these are the belief systems that become the traits, the personality traits in your child. So instead of saying you are always timid, maybe you can just bring in a question that, can you be a little softer? Can you be a little kinder? Can you do something else for your sibling? Can you do this thing for your brother? Can you do this thing for your sister? Or whatever it is according to that situation. Bring in that angle which you hope your child would be with the sibling at that point of time. Even if the child is not that at that point of time, immediately there is no change. You don't need to worry. You don't again go back to no, it's just my illusion that I can change him. No, you cannot change him. You cannot change any person out there. It is only about bringing in awareness, and they already have that love within them, right? They have love for their sibling within them. It's only about bringing in awareness, that's all. Just while experimenting, exploring, they get into some petty issues, fights, troubles. They hit the child, they hit the sibling, they trouble the sibling, but they have immense love within them. So it is about bringing in awareness about, can we be a little kinder to this? Can we be a little gentler in this regard? Right? Talking from that perspective. So yes, how many points have you written down? So let me just recap all of them. The first one is every child is unique, right? So in 2 of your children and 3 of your children, every child is unique. And then nature versus nurture. The third one is how you treat your children, each of your child depends on how you have been treated in your childhood. And the fourth one is perspectives. When children are fighting, they want to be accepted. They want to be accepted in terms of their perspective. The fifth point is, do not care if you are, they don't care if you're giving them equal or not. They always want a larger bite. So the way you have to bring in is awareness mode again. Do you think you can have another bite? Yes, you can take. If you want to have another bite, you can take. It's not about, okay, she is eating and then I should eat. No. And then defining the child, labeling. Yes, I've given you two, I've spoken about two angles in just this section. And then the seventh point, the last point is acting like who you are not, right? The child is just 2-year-old and you expect the child to act like a grown-up, to act like a mature sibling, to be helping you around. No, it doesn't happen. Your child is an 8-year-old, still it doesn't happen. Children crave um, children crave their parents' presence for their needs. This is an underlying fact, and you should be okay with it. Being a parent, you should be okay with it. Our first duty, our first responsibility is to attend to their needs, the child's needs, right? So I hope I have added value in this session. And yes, make sure you spread the word. Just hit that like button and type yes. Post your learnings, some snippet of what you have learned under the comment section, in the comment section. And yes, and even in the description section, I've given you a link to the Telegram group and a link for the upcoming masterclass, which you can register for. And I'll meet you live in my upcoming masterclass. Thanks. Cheers. Take care.